All right, ladies and gentlemen, if the biggest winner panel wasn't enough to inspire you, we've got an even bigger winner panel of something like 20 people that are going to give some testimonials. This is great because it's Sunday. Testimonials on how the UWL program and how eating this way has changed their life.
So this is our favorite part of the show because these are testimonials of real life people that are just like you and me that have, really conquered and overcome a lot. So we're only going to have 3 minutes per person, so they're going to kind of talk fast. Some of them will be nervous because they're not public speakers. So let's give everybody a big round of applause. All right, Teresa's going to go.
Hi guys.
Hi.
So like many of you, I've struggled all of my life with my weight. My battle started in my teens. I used drugs at that time to manage it because of, you want to be the in crowd. By the time my first child was born when I was 22, I was 180 to 200 pounds, and that pretty much maintained my whole life up until 2009 when after my dad had passed away, I was pretty upset about that, and I just really wanted something different for my life because he died of heart disease and diabetes and all those things that we die of. And so I found Simply Raw reversing diabetes in 30 days and was inspired and cried through the whole movie thinking of my dad that he could still be with us. Sorry. And then I found Dr. Furman, did that for 6 weeks, about 6 weeks out of my life, right? And then doing that, I lost 20 pounds and felt wonderful. And I found AJ and started doing her cooking classes and then volunteered with her because I wanted to immerse myself, right? I wanted to be in that all the time so that I could continue my journey. And doing one of the classes that we did, one of the things we did was what she did at the time was an unprocessed challenge, which surprisingly I was chosen the winner, which was like, I didn't feel worthy of that, but apparently I was. Lost a total of 50 pounds and just continued to immerse myself. Well, fast forward, I moved in 2011 and moved away from my support, which is I've learned has become vital to my success, absolutely vital. And once again, 2013 through 16, I had major stress in my life, didn't know how to deal with those emotions, put on 50 pounds plus the 9 that I had already lost. And so years went by and I finally went, at the end of 2016, I was a mess again. I was diagnosed bipolar, I had depression, I had high blood pressure, all those things, that you get from eating a sad diet. And I knew I had to do something. So I made that decision. I was gonna go to True North and I was gonna make that choice to start getting healthy again. And they gave me hope because I didn't have hope at that point. I had back surgery and I was in so much pain all the time that I couldn't do anything. Thanks to True North, Dr. Goldheimer, Dr. Lyle, thank you. They saved my hope for me. They brought that back. AJ and JP, they've been awesome because they've supported me through all of it. It's just been amazing. So from January of this year, I've taken off 60 pounds. Originally, I was like beating myself up because I started doing it all over again, right? Well, okay, that's all right because it's all right. I'm embracing my journey. And so now you might be wondering why I'm wearing this tiara, right? AJ knows. And because I was the winner, that's what I won. So now I wear this and I have it out in my house. Not because I'm a princess, although, I'm not going to try that. But it's to remind myself that I am a winner. And I haven't let anyone down. I have persevered and not given up.
That's right.
And I want to embrace my journey. I want to embrace every step, every bump. And what I want to tell all of you, please embrace your journey, every step, every bump.
We love you, Teresa.
We love you, Teresa.
I joined Mastery as well when I started True North, which was a lot, but that was how I immersed myself. And I don't consider myself a master. I haven't mastered everything. But it just means I was ready to take that next step, to embrace the whole thing, be a well person and a whole person. And thank you to AJ and NJP again, and to my tribe. You guys have been phenomenal for my support. And I want to thank myself as well, because that's important to acknowledge ourselves. I But my hope for all of you is to never give up, to embrace your journey, and to celebrate you. Thank you.
All right, we have Janice coming up.
Hey, Janice.
Hello, I'm Janice Bird. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and I know there's some Louisville people here that I just met. Amy Gummer and Will and Faith Scott. Hello to you all. Thank you. Because now we have a vegan group in Louisville. I have been plant-based for 4 years. I started my journey because in my family, my father had every disease there was, high blood pressure, diabetes, uncontrolled. He didn't want to control it. There was triglyceride issues, all kinds of issues. And I thought, I can't go down that path because I saw what happened actually to both of my parents. So I went plant-based. My husband, sweetheart, has followed me down this road from day one and supported me. There are things that I cannot have in my environment. One of them is bread. You know, I still talk about it lovingly, but I don't eat it. And he has given it up. Well, I think he eats it, but not from me. So I found AJ and JP in 2014. I joined the UWL program for that year, and I did okay. When the mastery program came up in 2015, I knew I had to join that. It was a game changer for me. I learned I got my food right. I learned other things. I know that as a master, you are continually learning. You never stop learning. Listen to all the webinars. It doesn't matter how many times. Read everything you can read. I have lost maybe about 40 pounds, I think. And it was a long, hard journey because I was fat all my life, and I'm watching my time. I did Weight Watchers. I did Atkins, and my cholesterol went sky high, and it was very scary. It took me a long time to bring it down. So my blood work is good. I was asthmatic on 2 inhalers and shots. Don't take any of that now. So I feel very fortunate to have found these people and all of you, the tribe. Community is so important. Mindset. You got to have the right mindset to do this and know that this is what you want to do because it works. If you follow the program, it works. Let's see what else. That's me. Thank you.
So hi, I'm Jeanette. I'm from Montana. I'm a nurse, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother and a mother. And in 2004, I became a statistic. I suffered a drug reaction. Thousands of people every day suffer drug reactions. I say that mine was near fatal because I tried to jump out of a vehicle going down the highway. Unfortunately, my reaction came on at work. I lost my job. My RN license was revoked. I was hospitalized for 5 days with the wrong diagnosis. You see, I was going through a lot of stress at the time. My parents had passed on. I had gone through a divorce. And my son, who was visiting, was coming to pick me up at work one day at the ER. He came in as my patient. He was hit by a drunk driver, 45 miles an hour, T-boned in a 3/4 ton pickup. Fortunately, he was driving my brand new 3/4 ton pickup, and a conversation we had just the day before saved his life. So just a little bit of stress. I'd been seeing counselors during this stress. I went to a specialist and was put on an antidepressant. We tried all the new medicines, but I never tolerated them, so I was put on what's called nortriptyline, and it has a black box warning. Soon after that, I stopped sleeping, so I went to another specialist. Tried all the new sleep aids, was put on an old drug called Valium, only was prescribed twice a day because now I was having panic and anxiety attacks for the first time in my life. And then the joint aches came, another specialist, another drug. That one has since been pulled off the market. So you see where I'm going here. We're an overprescribed society, and I was the poster child. I was hospitalized for 5 days with the wrong diagnosis. And when I got out, 2 more medicines were added, 2 antipsychotics. I talked to my primary after I got out. I had just reunited with my husband. We were divorced for 30 years, and he noticed a change in me when I changed the first dose of the first medicine. It took me 5 months to get off all 5 medicines so I wouldn't have seizures. It was another 1.5 years before I got the right diagnosis of having an anticholinergic toxic reaction. The first drug was building up in my bloodstream, which caused me to stop sleeping, which caused the joint aches. But I received 3 different doctors who never talked to each other. I then went on to eat my way through the stress of everything for 5 years, gaining the most weight I've ever gained in my whole life. I went to the doctor. I started suffering from a lot of aches and pains, shortness of breath, and I actually saw the end of my life coming. I had some positive blood tests, got referred to a rheumatologist, and went to work the next day feeling pretty depressed. A coworker gave me a book to read. Of course, I read The China Study. I changed the way I ate, and in 7 days, my symptoms abated. Wow. And in a few weeks, all my lab work came back normal. I started to lose weight, and I was McDouglar for 3 years, but I hit a wall. I wanted to go to my 45th high school reunion looking better, and I was starting to suffer from depression again. So I had a personal consult with Chef AJ, and for the first time in my life, I realized the impact of food, not only on my physical self, but my mental health. I can't say enough about this program. Her and JP. So now when I get a little under the weather, I up my greens and I go out and I pound my troubles into Mother Earth, or I pound it in my studio making jewelry. Sorry, I lost it there just for a second. So anyway, I just retired from nursing, 31 years. I never took care of people that ate like me. I took care of people that ate the SAD diet. So now I'm eating my healthcare plan, and it's 1 bite at a time, and there's no deductible needed. Thank you.
And when you come up with your testimony, if you don't mind just mentioning your age.
I'm 66.
Woo! Janice, how old are you?
I'm 65.
65.
Hi, I'm Jenny Underberg. I'm 47. I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm from North Carolina, though. A little over a year ago, I somehow watched Forks Over Knives, and overnight became a vegan. And then through looking through different doctors and McDougall, the different doctors that were on that movie, I found AJ. And she was talking last fall about that fun-sized Snicker bar that you eat on Halloween because your kids get all this candy. And I thought, my God, this woman knows me. How does she know that I do that every year? And I spiraled down. So last year was the first year I didn't touch any kind of Halloween candy. And I've lost 65 pounds, still going. The best thing was my cholesterol went down like 70 points. I'm like 138 now.
Wow.
My blood pressure went from like 140 over something to like 107 or something. I can't remember those numbers, but it's good. And I'm off to antidepressants. So
Wow.
this program is very helpful.
Maryland have to do this because Sharon McCrae will not see otherwise.
Well, right. I'm from Maryland. I'm from Baltimore. I'm Susie. And I want to start with a couple of statistics. I will be 60 in a couple months. And I found out about AJ
Good girl.
Probably a couple years ago, and I thought, if you're not hungry enough to eat kale for breakfast, you're not hungry. And I thought, F that. Kale with vinegar. Well, this was before I knew about Grand Reserve vinegar and everything. But what I would say is that, vegetables for breakfast, meditation, all these things. But I really want to talk about my biggest statistic, which is the number 8. Who in here has problems with sleep? Oh, wow. Yeah. So I was a vice president for a Swiss company. I had 28 years. I was super mom, 3 kids. I have 3 kids between 25 and 29 now. And I was, after the kids went to college, I was traveling every week, either from Baltimore to Chicago or from Baltimore to Zurich, Switzerland. I was working long days. I was very stressed. And I was eating poorly in Chicago. I would try to get out of the office by 9:45 so I could race to Whole Foods to get dinner, eating dinner at 10 o'clock at night, Chicago time, which was, it was havoc. And that's when I was reading more about, UWL, and I spent probably 8 months, and this is my message to you, is make sure that your life is compatible with self-care. I resigned from this company after 28 years. I left 6 figures on the table. I took a 100% pay cut to go work for Johns Hopkins Medicine. And I ride my bike to work. I take my own food. I don't travel. It's all in Baltimore. We have one facility in Florida I go to every now and then. But take those, your lifestyle seriously. Back to the number 8. Sleep was a huge problem for me because of the stress, because of the travel. I was very fortunate to find a whole food plant-based sleep specialist at Johns Hopkins. And when I started my sleep journey, my average sleep was 4 hours and 20 minutes a night. I just checked it this morning. I'm up to 7 hours and 2 minutes. And I want to hit 8, but please don't underestimate what your work and how you live your life. And you know what? It's a big impact for us. 6 figures. I mean, that's a big change. And I'm getting to be retirement age. But you know what? We'll be fine. And I just can't encourage you enough to make the big changes that you need to make. I couldn't have done this when I was doing the traveling. I absolutely could not have done this. And there's no going back. And so to Chef AJ and JP, my gratitude to this tribe, my gratitude, especially a couple of you, and you know who you are. I say thank you.
Wow.
Hi.
Yeah.
I'm Armitage. I'll be 71 in October. This is my grandson, Ian Armitage, who is my personal trainer. And he's been vegan, or been plant-based since he was born.
Wow.
And he's now on what?
On a sugar challenge for 4 months.
Yeah. When I told him that my sugar challenge was for the rest of my life, he looked a little surprised, but I told him the rest of my life is a little shorter than the rest of my life. Actually, his mom, my daughter Lee, introduced me to vegan eating 23 years ago when I wasn't sure I'd heard the word and I wasn't sure how to pronounce it, but I told her, okay, I would try. And we went to a fitness resort that used the teachings of Dr. McDougall. We had lectures, exercise, wonderful meals, and switched instantly, never switched back. Then I joined the McDougall boards and did that for years and years and years. The problem was I never lost weight, really. I would lose a little doing the maximum weight loss and then gain that back. But luckily, once I was vegan, I wasn't gaining back more. Like, the way I got heavy was dieting and gaining back, dieting and gaining more. So, I had to finally stop going online because I wasn't losing weight. I couldn't keep saying like, oh, I've messed up again and again and again. But finally on the McDougall board, I found Chef AJ, I think giving her a lecture at a McDougall, I was watching online, at a McDougall program. And I thought, well, that makes sense. I guess it is an addiction. Okay, I sort of knew it maybe was. So I should eliminate these things. And I posted a couple of things and said, maybe I'm going to try this. And someone said, Well, this program is really simple, and you certainly don't have to do anything as crazy as eat a pound of kale every morning. And I thought, well, you know, they're right. I don't like fad programs. I don't want to get into something crazy. But then I decided, no, I've got to do that. So I started almost a year ago. I think I've lost about a pound a week. I don't weigh very often. But if you do it over the whole time, maybe I've lost 2 pounds a year for 25 years. So I'm actually happy that I was overweight. I'm happy that I had difficulty losing it. To meet this tribe, to work with AJ, to work with JP, who I'm pretty sure saved my life or extended it a good bit, it's just the best thing ever.
Hello, my name is Tracy Doreen, and I am 47 years old. I have been overweight since I was 3 years old. I was obese in my teens, and I was morbidly obese in my 20s. In my 30s, I got to my high weight of 262 pounds, and I don't know if I can do this with one hand, and these are my pants. Upside down. And this is what I wore.
Whoa.
Wow.
And this is what I looked like. I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, adrenal fatigue, insulin resistance, anxiety, depression, and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. I tried Weight Watchers, I tried paleo. I hired a trainer for 3 years, and I worked out with her 3 times a week for 3 years. I gained muscle, but I didn't lose my weight. I went to an obesity specialist, and a naturopath, and a dietitian, and a holistic nutritionist. I didn't lose my weight. My liver specialist, because I've got now alcoholic fatty liver disease, said because your liver metabolizes fat, you won't be able to lose weight. Your liver is so damaged. I felt defeated. I felt lost. I had lost my fight. She said, you need to go to a bariatric clinic and get surgery. So I did. And luckily, before my surgery, I found Chef AJ. Since then, I have lost 80 pounds. And I went back to the bariatric clinic and they said, you've done better on your own than we thought you could have done with surgery. I went back to my liver specialist and they said, your tests are fine, go home.
Wow.
My next goal is to have a normal BMI. I feel empowered. I no longer feel broken. I no longer apologize for taking up more than my fair share of the space in this world. It was terrifying for me to think of giving up sugar, oil, fat, salt, because I used those as crutches to get through my life. I'm here to encourage you to stare down whatever is holding you back and take action today. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tina Marie on the boards. I'm 47. I've been overweight since I was probably 7 years old. I still remember I used to go to a Catholic school, and I still remember my mom buying a Catholic school uniform. And at the time, they had the regular sizes, and there was like the big girl sizes. I don't know if my mom didn't want to buy the big girl sizes or what the situation was, but always my skirts were way too tight. And I would have to button them for as long as I can remember. I'd get home from school, I'd have, not welts, but indentations from the skirt in my skin. So my mom struggled with weight her whole life. I'm gonna try to do this. I just lost her on Thursday. Wednesday night. She struggled with weight her whole life. Diabetes, the medications they put her on, basically destroyed her organs over the years. She had multiple heart attacks, congestive heart failure, non-alcoholic liver disease, kidneys, everything was going on. She finally had her last heart attack, and I didn't want to go this far fast, but she finally had her last heart attack about 2 weeks ago. And because the blood flow was cut off to her kidneys, they died. And she could not survive the dialysis. So the point of this is, I watched her be very sick. And about 2 years ago, I was 268 pounds. I felt awful. I had no energy. I was exhausted all the time. My daughter would sit on my lap to read, and I would fall asleep while I was trying to read to her. I ended up watching Forks Over Knives, which led me to starting a whole food plant-based diet. And in less than, 5 or 6 months, I think I lost 50 pounds. And then around Christmas 2016, I ended up eating a lot of rich desserts and gained weight back. I'm gonna try to hurry this up. I found Chef AJ through Heather's channel. I was watching her, and I came across Chef AJ, and I remember them saying, when I joined the Ultimate Weight Loss group, that about food addiction, and I remember saying, I'm not addicted. Why? What? This isn't what I signed up for. I came in to help lose the rest of my weight, not food addiction. And lo and behold, I am addicted, and through the help of the tribe and Chef AJ, I lost an additional 50 pounds since March 1st. I did slip a little bit last week, and I know I put a little bit back on, but as soon as things leveled off, that stopped too. But I just want to say, if you're on the fence, please do it. It's the best decision I ever made, and there's no excuses. You can make it work. Thank you. Thank you.
Duo.
A dynamic duo.
Hello, my name is Jennifer, and this is my mom.
Janet. Oh, I'm 66.
Ah. And I turned 40 this year. Ah. I've got 4 kids. The oldest is 14. I didn't actually struggle with my weight until I was pregnant with my kids. Here's our photo. And I have learned this year and have finally accepted that I am a food addict. Sugar is my main poison. But my weight loss journey really started when I was pregnant because I was eating bagels and ice cream all the time. But when in my 30s, I became hypothyroid. Mom's also hypothyroid. And I'll tell you, the depression just really set in. I was just yo-yo dieting with so many different plans. Kept going back to Weight Watchers because I had once had success. And I was thinking, why can't I do this again? I kept losing the same 5 to 10 pounds over and over again. And they said, everything in moderation. And it didn't work for me. So finally, when my 4th child was born, back in 2014, I weighed 170 pounds, and I'm only 5 feet tall. Ooh. I was depressed, I was tired all the time, and the kids knew that when the baby napped, Mom napped. So I was just so guilty that I was not getting everything done. I'm a homeschool mom, so they were always there, and they could see the craziness of Mom trying one thing and the next. And when they saw me finally following Chef AJ, my oldest said to me, wow, Mom, you're finally sticking with something. He watches all the AJ videos, and she knows I'm always bugging her about my kids and stuff. So Mom was the one who found the video that vegans came to, your video, yeah, the one. Chef AJ. And she joined UWL, bought us both Instapots. This is my mom here, buying stuff to me all the time. I got us started, and that summer we both watched the videos and got started, but we're kind of in it all the way. So she got me to join by paying for me last November and Thanksgiving time. So I jumped right in with the holiday series, got on the boards, did the empowerment calls with JP, did a one-on-one coaching with JP, and got some accountability partners that are here tonight that finally got to meet this weekend. And it really changed everything because I needed you guys. I really, really did. And just recently I had some really rough summer and got back on track with JP another call, and we did the fruit and veggie day, and we did successful with that. You know, it was a thing of trying to understand what we needed to do and the mental thing. So we are so thankful to you, AJ and JP, and how much you've done in our lives. I am now down almost 30 pounds since Thanksgiving.
I'm down probably almost 25, I don't know for sure. I'm trying to go on the scale. So what really got me into this was she was so searching here, there, and everywhere on these programs, and I kept saying, Jennifer, they're not programs that are vegetarian. We're Seventh-day Adventists. It doesn't follow our health message. And when I found Chef AJ's program, I'm like, this is it, finally. But the kicker to me was I had a cancer diagnosis. I'm now clear of that. Yeah. My blood pressure went up. I'm also a nurse, so I see what the people go through. And I'm telling you, the acuity of patients today are so sick. And all the years I've been a nurse, I've seen people getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and I'm like, I don't want to go down that road. Well, when I had one of the nurses say, I checked my blood pressure, 178 over 94. I'm like, what? I'm not on any medication. I'm never high. So I started watching it, went to the doctor, and I said, I'm not going on medication. And that's when I really found the program. Had sessions with JP. My blood pressure is now 106 over 70. I'm still on my journey. And I got my twin sister to join also. She couldn't make it here. She's on her journey, and I'm just, Pat, love you. We're going to do this. Yep. She's watching me live right now. And praise God that we can do this. And we love your group. It's been wonderful meeting everybody, and I can't thank you all enough.
Thank you. You guys are cute.
Hello, I'm Suze Elwell, and I am 54 years old. And like Chef AJ, I was obese by the age of 5 and spent a lifetime of being on diets and losing weight and gaining it back and gaining more until that took me to the year of 2006, and I maxed out at 318 pounds. And I had all kinds of medical problems going on, and I wasn't fortunate enough to find Chef AJ, and I had a sleeve gastrectomy. And that took me from 318 down to 190, and the weight stopped. And here we go again, right back up. And I found myself in 2014 weighing 246 pounds after having a sleeve gastrectomy. But the scare was what it took me to weigh over 300 with the health issues. I was now feeling it at 246, and I was scared. And enter in the spring of 2014, Forks Over Knives. My husband and I watched that, and we're like, okay, this is it, we're doing it. But that didn't go so well, because we are the king and the queen of drive-through, take-out, dine-out, box food, bag food. We don't cook. Everybody else does it, or they package it for us. And in those few months, health just spiraled out of control for both of us. And I picked up Whole by Dr. T. Colin Campbell, and I started reading it. And I made one of the most toughest decisions that I've ever had to make in my life. And I told my husband, you have to choose either me or the food.
Yeah.
And
good girl.
And I am married to a wonderful man, but that was a very tough decision. And well, he decided to stay with me. And so that was in August of 2014. And within 7 weeks, he was free of his diabetes, which he was insulin dependent, had been for 15 years. And that was gone. And, you know, we carried on. But I was having a little bit of oil and we had some sugar and salt. But what we did do is we knew the trouble when we tried before. We shut down DirecTV. And well, that was great because that was saving us $150 a month, and Lord knows eating healthy is very expensive, so we needed that money. We know different now. But so we just, you know, we stuck to the plan and we just watched videos. And then we saw this woman, Chef AJ. Well, who's Chef AJ? But she was so vivacious and energetic, but there was something that she was doing that nobody else was doing. The other doctors, they told us what we needed to eat and why we needed to eat it. But my husband and I, we were so scared because we didn't cook. And that's what she showed us how we could do this, and she just made the food sound delicious. Well, move forward, last year in October, we're gonna get our cholesterol checked. I've been doing this diet for 2 years. What's going on? And my husband comes in at 123 of a total cholesterol.
Wow.
And I come in at 185. I was freaking the frack out. And okay, so no oil means no oil. And December, I joined UWL. Don't know why it took so long because I was following her all the time. And in April, I had my cholesterol checked after following the program, and it was 142. So that was a great victory. But the one thing that I just would love to leave with everybody, and that is the 7 C's that she gives us. The C that helped me the most was continuing education, but I'm going to cherry pick it a little more. It was the word continue. So when you slip, when you trip, when you stumble, or you fall, or you balls out epic fail, continue. Continue in your community, continue in your compliance, continue in your commitment, just continue. And you will have, like Chef AJ says, the health in the body that you so richly deserve.
My name's Agnes, and you probably think I'm Asian, I'm thin, why the heck is she up here? So my journey has been, since I was 32 years old, I've had hypertension, and I ate, you know, like everyone else does, but a little healthier, a little more veggies. And then fast forward to 40, when I was 49 years old, I had a heart attack.
Wow.
And I was on the treadmill running, and I started having discomfort on my chest. My husband took me to the emergency room, and they had to put 2 stents. So I had to be on 8. So I was on 1 blood pressure medications. I had to be on 3 blood pressure medications and multiple other medications. And so that was, you know, so fast forward, and I thought, okay, I have to eat healthier. My husband also then had a heart attack before then, and so both of us have heart disease. So fast forward to this March, and our doctor gave us the video for Silver Knives, and he says, your husband needs to be on a plant-based diet. And so I thought, I know that story. So, okay, so we watched it and we thought, that's it. We need to be on this diet. I cleaned out our environment, cleaned out our fridge, and that was when our journey started. And through that, I watched Dr. McDougall, learned about Chef AJ, and I said, I love her. I want to Google her and follow her. So I ended up following Chef AJ. And through all her, you know, weight loss Wednesdays, I learned all about this diet through her. and I have to thank her. And so since March, I started, and so a few months after, I saw my doctor, he saw my numbers, and he says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm eating a plant-based diet." "That's what you told me." And so he says, "Well, it's working, good job, but it's not sustainable, so do as best as you can." So I said, "We're gonna be doing this diet." So, so now it's what, September, and I'm gonna see my cardiologist. I'm down to 3 blood pressure, 3 medications, and I'm working towards no medications. So thank you so much for your support.
Hi everybody, I'm Lisa Maturo and I'm 51. So I've lost and gained the same 20 to 60 pounds or so since my 20s. My freshman 15 was more like a freshman 25 in college. And it just, I gained and lost, over the next 30 or so years. When I turned 50 last year, I decided that I was going to get fit and healthy, but it didn't happen. I put so much pressure on myself when I was turning 50 that I went the other direction, and I gained another 15, 20 pounds, and I got to 202. That was February 2nd. I think I started plant-based and immersed myself in everything. I watched every video, read every book I could find. Then I found Dr. McDougall. I did the McDougall maximum weight loss for, I think, about 6 weeks, and I lost quite a bit on that. I did well, and I really liked that program, but I was missing the support that I wanted. So, and I found Chef AJ through the McDougall website, and I think I watched the From Fat Vegan to Skinny Bitch and loved that. So I started stalking her on YouTube and watching everything I could find. Hemmed and hawed about joining UWL for at least a month or two. Finally joined in April, and it was the best decision. It really is about support and community, being a part of that group, and I don't think I could have done as well without that. So since February 2nd, I've lost 56 pounds. And I think that's fairly fast, but I ate till I was full, okay? I didn't feel like I was deprived. It was like no other diet I have ever tried. So, but the best part is that I feel better than ever, and I finally feel like, okay, I'm a year late as far as getting there by 50, but I don't want to grow old with debilitating disease, and that was my main motivation. So the weight loss is a bonus, but I want to be healthy as I age, and that's what keeps me going. And my cholesterol a year or so ago was 284. It's now 170, so I'm hoping to get to 150. That was about a month or so ago, so it might be a little better by now. And I have hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's and insulin resistance. I had all of that. All of that's normalized. My blood pressure was kind of borderline hypertensive. I was like 135 over 95, and now it's 110 over 60. But I related a lot to Shayda's testimonial yesterday about when she talked about immersion, because that for me is the biggest key to staying on track. I immersed myself and watched something every day, and that kept me going the most. So, and joining UWL is a bargain, okay? Join it because it will keep you going, it'll keep you on track, and it's worth every penny to get that support. Thank you.
Laurel Paley, we know you.
Hi everybody, I'm Laurel Paley. I'm 59 years old. I've been a late bloomer all my life, and I've pretty much been an overweight chick all my life as well. Like many of us, I was probably overweight starting when I was 5 or 6 years old. I didn't know until we moved from Wisconsin, the land of cheese, to Southern California, the lands of bikinis. And suddenly I was the picked on 9-year-old with a great big belly. And my mother also struggled with her weight all her life. But, you know, we weren't really an exercise family. We were a studious Jewish family who got good grades and didn't work out. I was surrounded with doctors my whole life. My father, a doctor, my grandfather, a pharmacist, all the cousins and uncles, doctors, and more doctors. My brother is a doctor, and they all know everything, as you know. And I'm going to make it a little shorter by skipping the yo-yo dieting and all the different diets I did, because I did so many. The only one I did not do was fen-phen. Fen-phen, thank God.
That was good shit, let me tell you.
Well, a friend of mine has terrible heart problems because she did do the fen-phen, you know, the injection of, I don't know, whatever. And, but my brother, the doctor, wisely would never prescribe it for his patients and probably lost a job because of it, because he had a little bit of ethics. But of course, everyone in my family ate carnivorously, and I stopped eating meat in 1975. So I was the weirdo. I'm also the artist in a family of doctors and lawyers, so I'm really a weirdo. And nobody listens to me. I, thank God, found Chef AJ through a friend of a friend and another friend who did cooking classes with you. And I made my way over, and I went from being a vegetarian, eating way too much cheese, to a vegan. And you know, I watched my father die 10 years. I didn't watch it. I was in Japan, and my father didn't wake up one morning. My father, who always said, everything in moderation, my baby, all in moderation. He very moderately ate meat twice a day and Coca-Cola, drank Coca-Cola every day. And he very moderately died 10 years ago and didn't get to see his grandson's bar mitzvah, didn't get to, I mean, I miss him every day. And at that point I realized, you know, I'm 59 and I weigh, I mean, at the time, I'm 59 now, I was 49. I weigh 210 pounds and I'm not married, I don't have kids, no one's gonna watch me when I have a heart attack in the middle of the night or something. So I started getting more serious about taking care of myself. I've lost 50 pounds, I have more to go. I'm thankful, I no longer have fatty liver, I'm off 3 medications, I'm trying to get off the last one. I've been on and off and on and off. So, but you guys are beautiful, and thank you all. And let's do this thing.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Bear with me. I'm not a front type person, but I'm Faye.
Hi, Faye.
This is our 2 grandchildren, Jermaine and Maya. We're raising my daughter Destiny and my husband Will, and we've been plant-based for 2.5 years. I'm 46 years old. My husband's 57. And I found myself 2.5 years ago, fat, sick, and half dead, and sick and tired, being sick and tired. I was 229 pounds, the heaviest I had ever been in my entire life. So we went plant-based, and I just immersed myself in reading books. And we first started out with Marco Borges' 21-Day Revolution. And then at the end of the book, he mentioned Dr. McDougall, Dr. Esselstyn, Dr. Campbell. So I got all their books and just read, and I love to cook, as y'all know. And so I lost 92 pounds, fast forward. My husband lost a total of 89. But the reason why we joined the plant-based revolution was that we all did the yo-yo dieting type thing. And with the different diets, kids could never be involved, right? So when I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, I said, now look, when we do this, it's gonna be a family affair.
because I was in the shape I was in, and no pun intended against my mom and all that, but it was because of what she fed me. I mean, you know, we're a creature of habits, right? So I was eating the way I eat because that's what I was taught by my mom to eat. So I'm saying I want our children to grow up in a healthy environment and learn those healthy habits so when they grow up, they'll be healthy adults. Plant-based lifestyle made a lot of sense to my husband and I. It was an adjustment for the kids. It took about 90 days for me to transition them. But people say, how do you do it? But they don't have a choice. They don't have a job. They ain't paying no bills. And, you know, I know they're kids, but I'm keeping it real. All right, so I'm just saying, they don't have too much say. All right, you eat what I put before you, and you go to bed hungry. Now, I'm not gonna ask real quick, but I do make more decadent and stuff like cookies and all that for them. But they still understand, you know, being healthy. Now, fast forward, May, I stumbled across Chef AJ because I was really trying to take our plant-based lifestyle to the next level. And I'm like, how in the heck she cook her food with no salt, no oil, no sugar, make it taste like anything? So I started following her, which we had the oils and the salt down, but it, I mean, not the salt, sugar and oil down, but it was the salt. I'm like, oh, I gotta have some salt, you know. So found AJ, started following her. I said, I like her style because you keep it real. That's the way I am, short to the point. And so we joined UWL in May. And so I think since then I've lost 8 pounds, so a total of 100 pounds I've lost. More importantly, you know, we eat veggies, but now we eat them for breakfast, and our kids eat veggies for breakfast. I am more excited about what's happening for these 3 because they're going to grow up and, you know, being healthy adults, you know, so I'm just excited. So I'm going to cut it short because my husband, I think he wants to say something. All right, just real quick.
I just want to let all of the gentlemen know that I'm a representative of you. You know, I know all conference we've been hearing about, you know, the ladies and the support and all of that. I'm just here to let you know that, hey, the best thing I could have ever done was to support my wife in this endeavor to get to a work, to get to a weight and a health that she's never been into for her life, you know. And I'm a soldier. So last year, I was in Afghanistan. My wife had these 3 children, running a business, and lost 50 pounds by the time I came back. So just to let you guys know, don't wait. Do it. Okay? Do it. All right. Thank you. Thank you.
And we even appreciate your support to your floor.
Hello, everybody. My name is Dixie Sutton.
Hi, Dixie.
Hello. I'm from near Sacramento, California. Next week's my birthday. I'll be 61 years old. I found myself to be very fat and very sick, on all the standard pills, high blood pressure, cholesterol. I had medication for GERD. I had my gallbladder removed. I became a widow. I found my husband very, very sick for 13 years. We were in the healthcare system all the time. His illness was all diet related. After he passed away, I changed my environment by moving. I lived by myself. I changed my stress level by getting out of by no longer following his health care and by retiring. Then I decided I had to lose weight. At my highest, I was 205. Today, I am down 91 pounds. I followed Dr. for several years. I started this journey in January of 2013. A month later, I found Miss Linda Middlesworth, who runs the Sacramento Vegan Society. She became my accountability partner, my food coach. And every day I would have to email her what I ate the day before, and she would critique it. Like I had mustard on my potatoes. Well, what kind of mustard was that? Did it have salt in that mustard? So she was very good for me. I kept her as a food coach for a total of 4 months. She led me to Chef AJ and John Pierre, which I really thought when their program started, their program may not make it. I'm going to join just to support them in this good effort. You know, we started out, we had, what, 100 people at the beginning of this?
Yeah.
Well, I thought I was at my weight where I was not going to lose anymore. I've lost 20 more pounds.
Wow!
Since joining UWL.
Wow.
So I'm here to say that UWL works if you work the program.
Yes. Yes.
And I'm also in this, my biggest goal was that I have one child. She's my daughter. She has 2 children of her own. They're 4 and 7 right now. I did not want to turn her into my caregiver because I have been the caregiver for 5 people. Did not want to turn her into a caregiver. So work UWL because it does work. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Juanita, and I began my health, I should mention my age. I'm 66, I'll be 67 next month. And I began my health journey in January of 2012. I attended a CHIP conference on diabetes. CHIP is a community health improvement program which was run by Hans Steele. It's a super program, and I joined so I could learn how to cook beans. And Dr. Sorensen, who was running the program, said, "Oh, honey, you're going to learn to cook beans and so much more." And he said, "You're going to give up dairy and you're going to give up meat." And he said, "You're going to get your diabetes under control." Well, that I did. And I can't thank CHIP enough. But through them, I attended the Veg Source Conference in October of 2012. And through that, that's a program run by Jeff Nelson. And through that, I met Chef AJ, who was the tour guide for our bus tour of LA. And she kept raving about cooking with no oil, salt, or sugar, SOS, and I thought, this woman is nuts. How can you possibly eat that? I've given up meat, I've given up dairy. How am I going to give up this other stuff? And she says, well, I just have come back from True North, and that is the most fabulous place. You're going to have to go sometime if you have a problem. So she was advertising that before even UWL had started.
Right.
Well, yeah. So I signed up in in March for a cooking class with Chef AJ, and then she put the unprocessed challenge online, and I did that in April of 2013. And John Pierre opened the door for me, and that was how I met him. He was the first person I met going through there because I was nervous driving in the San Fernando Valley, and everything worked out. Well, I attended other conferences in Oliver Healthy Choice of LA and Riverside and all the Healthy Choice. I just attended everything. I had a kid at UCLA. So I would drive up from San Diego to attend their events, and then I'd see my son who was at UCLA. My husband had passed away 2 years earlier, and I was still in the grieving process after taking care of him with his lung cancer for 2 years. And I was a mess. I was a literal mess. My health was gone. And so when I discovered the vegan way of eating and found this social group through AJ and the Process Unchallenged, I just kind of kept at it. It became a lifeline for me, and thankfully I kept at it because I went to True North in July of 2014. My blood pressure was getting under control, and I went again in October of 2015, and I got my blood pressure under control, and I actually learned that yes, you can fast and you're not going to die if you skip a meal. I did it for 20 days, and it was the best thing, other than changing my diet. It was the best thing I've ever done for myself. It was a true gift for myself, those 2 visits at True North. But anyway, the other stop on my health journey is my dedication to fitness, because I don't want my children to take care of me. I want to be, as I go into my years, I want to thrive. I want to have a healthy adulthood. I don't want somebody having to push me in a wheelchair. And that's my main motivation. And I want to stay away from doctors because, you know, all they do is prescribe pills, and you don't know what's going to happen to you with all the pills. So I thank you, and I thank AJ and John Pierre, and especially for allowing me to be a part of their health journey, because through John Pierre, I have learned compassion. I know more about saving animals than the farm sanctuaries, and I joined Best Friends in Kanab. I thank you for introducing me to that, and I thank you for the friendship and the tribe that we have. It's really nice when you take a stumble to have someone to go back to, and I look at Shada and those gals and Erin that I've met in all the other conferences, and they've been inspirations, and now there's so many inspirations here. And Sherry, I just want to tell you, you made my day. My 4.5 years of weightlifting have paid off when you said, you don't have your arms hanging so much. Sherry, I love you for saying that.
Hi, I'm Janet Miller. I'm from Portland, Oregon.
Janet!
Yes. And she is my motivation, my encouragement. I love you.
I love you.
My story is, my father had a heart attack when I was 12 years old. He was 39, an educator, and my mother thought she was cooking great food for him. Well, you know, she still had the meats, the cheeses. He would eat yogurt and cottage cheese a lot, but they were all so full of fat. Well, lo and behold, a few years later, he had another heart attack, and then another heart attack. Finally, he was, I believe, 78, which, no, he passed away at 78, at 78 years of age. But he was sick for years. My poor mother, having been in good health, was his caregiver, which drove her health into the ground, and then she ended up in a nursing home under care also. I took care of her for 3 years, but then I ended up in the hospital. So it happens. As a caregiver, it's really hard, and I commend each of you that can do that. So having tried to live by example, I've always been healthy. When I got married, I was 85 pounds. When I had my first child, I was 108 pounds. So all my life, I've been healthy, active. I was the team leader, driving everybody up the hill, motivating everybody else. But at some point, I forgot to take care of me. And I kind of been sick, and I let the world get a hold of me, and I started climbing. I've lost 65 pounds. I still have more to go. But I gotta tell you, the one thing I can tell you more than anything else is you look to your left, you look to your right, forward and back. Every one of you has saved a life by being there for somebody else. These people, how many lives have you saved? AJ and John Pierre. I'm amazed. This is a record, I swear. And you are the lifesaver of all these people. It's just amazing to me. And that's why I'm here. I love to be a part of this tribe. Heather, don't make me cry. Thank you, everybody.
Love you, Janet.
Good luck on your journey.
Aloha, cool kids.
Hi, nice dress.
Welcome to UWL. Here's your potato. My name is Jane Smith. I'm 40, and I'm so grateful to be here. Like, hasn't this been an emotional roller coaster? Listen to everybody.
Yes, totally.
Like, I left, I cried, need a minute. 2 minutes and 39 seconds. So I'm here to talk about the steamy underbelly of food addiction that nobody has mentioned, the eating out of the trash, the stealing the food. I hope none of you have ever experienced this, but I have. It's gross and it's embarrassing. I even stole food that wasn't vegan. I'm so grateful to be free of that. There are no words to express it. I'm unprepared, so
there. I didn't have time to make the words to express it, but the amount of energy I have to spend on things other than obsessing about food because I've got the food under control now, I have taken up scuba, knitting, weightlifting, bike commuting. I work, in addition to working full time, I just started embroidering and made my first vision board, JP, because collage isn't my medium, and I've struggled with that for almost 2 years now, but I finally embroidered my first vision board.
Oh, that's so cool. Wow.
In addition to screwing around on the internet and constant focus on UWL materials, I also have taken up the concertina, which is like a little accordion. I'm geeked up to hear what Paula, Valerie, and Rick are going to say, so I'm going to stop with reiterating what Janice Bird said. As a master, you are continually learning. So, stick.
Jane, tell them how much you lost. She lost 125 pounds. She didn't say it. Jane, how much did you lose? You got to tell them, because they'll never believe it.
I've lost over 100 pounds, but I don't care. Yes.
Hi, my name is Valerie. You guys know me by VG. Yes, I'm VG.
Yes.
For disclosure, my accent's from Brazil. I was made in Brazil with Italian parts. That's why I have a funny accent. Yes, I am 53 years old. I became a widow at age 38. My husband had a liver transplant. So after that, I went to Brazil, where I'm from, and I went to a place, so I was like true north, as a bigger scale, for medical treatment to reverse my diabetes and high blood pressure. I was taking the diabetes medication, 850 milligrams 3 times a day. Wow. So on that place, I changed my diet and became, started eating health again. Because when I met my husband, he used to eat steak and potatoes at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I joined him, I could not believe, and that's how I became sick. So I was here, in 2008, I started having high blood pressure problems again. And I went to medications, several medications, and my doctor was a PhD in research in endocrinology, so I was like a guinea pig for his blood pressure medication. So one day, 2012, when I started searching for a place, like a residential facility for medical treatment, alternative medical treatment, I Googled, I found True North Health in Santa Rosa, California. So I went in there in November 2012, and I did a 16-day water fast. Actually, it was 10 days. The doctors told me, Valerie, you need to stay longer because I don't think your blood pressure is going anywhere. I had total uncontrolled high blood pressure with medication. I would be leave my office and stay at the parking lot of the emergency room just in case everything goes bad. So when I went to True North, I did 16 days water fast, no more blood pressure medication, and I'm doing this since then. It's a beautiful thing. But I've been doing this on my own for a long time. And till the last year, December, I met AJ. Let me tell you how I met her. I was at Joe Furman's website. And Joe Furman, I saw her at AJ, and I started following her. By following her, I learned about UWL, so I joined. And that's the only place you can have support for what True North preaches, which is no salt, no sugar, no oil. The salt is a problem. I went in 2012. The food was, no taste. I went down, just went back right now in April, May. And I went in there, I tried the food. The first day I tried the food, I said, oh my Lord, this food is spiked. That is salt. I told Dr. Goheimer, this food is spiked. I can't believe the way it tastes so good. So after a while, just let you know, guys that don't want to eat the salt, you get adapted to it. And everything else is going to taste delicious. So I joined AJ because she has the support. And I lost 18 pounds by doing so. So I
All the way from Afghanistan!
My name is Paulinita. I live and work in Afghanistan. I have 45 days off a year to not be in Afghanistan.
Wow.
What that means, I know this guy back here knows, all of my food is prepared for me. JP told me to tell you I'll be 52 next month.
All right.
I decided I wasn't going to eat the crap that they fixed for us anymore last year. In September, I did 30 days good and strong. I was at 190, I'm now at 160. I think the main thing that AJ stresses for me is that there's not one person in this room that can't do this.
Right.
There's days there's no potatoes, no bananas.
We love you, Polly.
It's very, very difficult. There's days that I'm not compliant. So for all of you that
Here you go. Yes.
I really wanted to be last, I wanted to have a lasting impact. I'm gonna do that anyway. All of our food is frozen before it comes to us. So if you can imagine a tomato that looks awesome on the outside and bite into it, it's soggy and disgusting. You don't get the same food every day, so you can't have a plan. You might think
What a sweetie.
Everything for breakfast is sad. Everything. Aborted baby chicken skins is what I call them. Aborted baby chicken skins is what I call hard-boiled egg whites. And everything that goes with that. My coworker is a sad eater, but he looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger. So he thinks he's healthy. But I have to watch him eat tons of chocolate, bags of Cheetos. And it's not the Cheetos that I want, it's the sound of the bag rattling that just drives me insane. So I have to put my headphones on so that I can't hear him eat. And there's times that I take his Cheetos and throw them in the trash. If he leaves anything in my environment, it goes in the trash, and he knows that. The main thing I want to stress here is no matter what, it can be done. It can be as hard as you make it or as easy as you make it. And the biggest word is diligence. And I got that from AJ. I don't know how I found AJ. It was a God thing, that's all I can say.
Yep.
So my environment is totally 100% not clean. Every day that I go to the DFAC, I have to walk through all of the food that you can imagine, from fried cheese sticks to pizza to whatever. And I have to go to the certain spots, and it's difficult every day, 3 times a day to do that. And if I want vegetables for breakfast, that has to be my supper. So I don't get to have 3 meals a day even. Breakfast there's nothing compliant but cucumbers, and there's days that there's no cucumbers. So what am I gonna eat? If I don't go to the DFAC the night before at dinner time, that's my breakfast. And I don't go because I can't get through all the sad food. So just the main thing is, anybody that's sitting in this room that says they cannot do this and they have a grocery store, I'm throwing out the bullshit card.
That's right!
Hi, everybody. I'm Rick Ostrowski.
I'm Jenny Ostrowski from 48.
I want to have better memory. I don't want to go to a meeting that lasts longer than 30 minutes and come out of there feeling like, I don't know, I wasn't at the same meeting. The next day I talk to people and it's like I wasn't at the same meeting because I just forgot half the stuff that we're talking about. I want to have more energy. I want to scuba dive with my kids someday. I want to take less medicine, maybe none. I want to be a better golfer. I'm competitive, and I didn't get it. I should be a lot better. I almost dedicated my life to golf, and I want to cross the I want to cross the other side, get a little better. I want to beat my dad someday. I mean, come on. And find some energy to play with the kids, and I just want to have more fun. And I know that you guys want to have more fun too. I mean, so if you can just come up with, a list like this and figure out what you want, you'll get here and you'll see why. And I kind of feel like this is going to fall on deaf ears because I talk to my dad about this stuff, and it falls on deaf ears, and he makes fun of me, but I just, if you can't figure anything out to get you here, just think about this. And I know I'm probably talking to 80% of you. I mean, you know, you've forgotten what it's like to wake up in the middle of the night with an erection, haven't you? You have. Do what we're doing here if you want to remember what it's like to feel like you're 18 again. Woo!
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jordan. I'm 39. Like those lights are bright. It's kind of intimidating. I wanted to say something to all the men who are here for their wives. That's great. Something else is that AJ said, she talked to somebody and that he would, you know, I'll pay you $1,000 to support your wife. I'll do it for $500. It's like, how much do you love your wife?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, really? You're not willing to support her? You have to be paid? How much do you have to be bribed for?
Yeah.
Really, guys? Again, if food is so much of a problem that you have to be bribed, you have to ask yourself where the problem is with yourself. I love my wife. I'm glad to be here. I'm not in UWL, but I am now. But I do it to support my wife because I love her and because I know it's the truth. And the truth is a powerful thing. The truth will set you free. But you have to let it. Okay? If your heart is closed, if your mind is closed, you got nothing. So do what's right. Do it because it's right and because it's good for you.
That's good.